want to thank you very much for joining us. This is our first user group meeting of 2019. We expect to resume them about once a quarter. And this is really the title here, trying to be a little bit intriguing, putting the share in SimsUshare. Essentially, let's see, there it goes. If you ask us what our #1 customer support question is at SimsUshare, it is, do you have example simulations? Not surprisingly, customers get the tool and hopefully it's pretty straightforward to bring your own pictures in, but it's always also better to work from examples, seeing what other people are doing, getting some tips, and then just speeding up the process overall. So, okay, do we have example simulations? Yes, that's great. But then how do I get them? And that's always been the obstacle, I think, with a lot of programs, that retrieving them, organizing them has been difficult or complex. And really our aim with SimsUshare is to make that process much simpler. So what I want to go over is here the basic ways in which you can share simulations. Right now, if you wanted to share simulations with other people, there's the manual method. The simulations are by default stored in the Documents SimsUshare Sims folder. And therefore, if you wanted to just copy simulations over from your computer to another computer, you go into this folder, copy the folder, and put it over on another computer. Problem is that on iPads and Androids, this is it's not possible to do it that simply. And again, this is manual. You have to figure out what Sims are available. And of course, we could put a big list of Sims that are available, but the download process and the putting in your document folder, every step makes it more difficult overall to share and learn from other other developers. So the second way, the manual method, is possible but difficult. Then with our network version, you can also have shared folders on your network. And we have some videos on, let's say, a shared folder if you have at your department. That doesn't really help you across departments. And it also really doesn't help you if you want to get sample simulations, because obviously we're not all on the same network. So what I'm going to introduce today is basically the new way. What you can do, as we've added in the SimCloud account for all SimsUshare subscriptions, you can basically upload and download to and from your SimCloud account. And what we're doing now, introducing today, is showing some public repositories on the SimCloud that you can very easily bring into your own SimsUshare. Now, you can't modify the simulations in the public repositories, but you can't modify them in the public repositories. But once you bring them down onto your computer or onto your iPad or Android device, you're then free to modify. They're completely separate. So the first step is that we've made a web page at SimsUshare.com called Free Simulation Sets. And this link is actually is recorded in the SimsUshare CTC web portal. So you can copy this down so you can go see it, and I'll show it to you in a moment. But this is going to be basically the listing of all possible of simulations that we're currently sharing. So actually, I'm going to go here now and go to that link, show you what that looks like. And so this is now the page where it's saying we've got these different pluses are expandable areas. So we put at the first on this page, read this first. And so this will tell you here how to download Sims directly into the SimsUshare app, or to import Sims into your SimCloud account. So if you are just working in SimsUshare in the app, you can follow these steps and bring the simulations in. If you want to bring the simulations into your SimCloud account, so these are the simulations that are there for your multi-company exercises or for the whole department to share that are not on an individual computer. So I'm going to show you how you actually go and do this. But the key thing here I wanted to show you is that now we have 4 different categories, and we want to have more as we encourage more sharing. So for example, here if I go to Starter Sims, you'll see here we tell you to download SimsUshare, use this username and password. You'll see here we have a set of commercial size up, a series of 5 commercial buildings, an AutoZone, Burger King, a supermarket, a Home Depot, and a restaurant. We have commercial size up, that's one simulation. We have our effects library if you want to see all the different smoke and fire. We have a house with a roof collapse. This is mimics an incident that's described in the Incident Safety Officer book, and several others here. A high-rise single family. These are relatively simple simulations. They all pretty much have walkarounds, but they may have 1 or 2 conditions. A true gas is a fire in a small commercial propane delivery company. That's the set of starter sims. Then we have a set of more complex multi-position sims. You'll see here we have a home garage fire, and I say multi-unit. What that means is you can have several positions. We have 3 engines, 2 ladders, a rescue, and a battalion chief. And each of these simulations are timed to move the company through their respective position. So as the first in-engine company responding, they'll show up with they'll show responding screens, and then they'll get to let's say the arrival, and they'll be walked through on a time basis. Now we also have a basic house fire. This is whereas the garage fire lets you choose which role to take right from the beginning, a single simulation. We have a basic house fire that breaks down into multiple simulations. They're related to the same one, this multi-position, really basic house fire, and we have 3 engines, a ladder, battalion chief. These are separate simulations you can examine individually, and I'll show an example of those. Then we also have a commercial Motel 6 multi-unit. Again, this has positions for 3 engines, 2 ladders, a rescue, and battalion chief. I'll show a little bit about that is, but these are designed to time someone through their various assignments. And that's the multi-position one. So now if you notice as well, under multi-position, it says there's a login, multi-position sims 1. Now there's also, here's a set of basic ones from Fire Rescue TV. And again, there's a login over here, which I'm going to show you how to use, Fire Rescue TV, pretty straightforward. There's a set of 8 simulations that just do a basic walk around single condition, which are single family, multifamily, commercial. There's a propane. And the last set we have is a residential urban simulation set. So this was designed by Traditions Training and Bridgeport Fire Department, credit to them. There's 5 simulations, and each of these has 4 conditions. So for example, you have an arrival condition, you have a knockdown condition, you have a worsening condition, and a defensive condition. And these can be used individually where you walk around with navigation, or they can be used in the CTC where you have an instructor controlling the multiple positions. So these are the set we have here in the free simulation set, but now the question is, how do you actually get them into SimsUshare? So this is where we have, there's our 4 sets of them. So if you want to bring them into SimsUshare, into the app, right inside the app, if you go to edit or play, there'll be options you may have seen, download or upload sims. Download sims, if I click on download sims, then the next step, and I'll walk you through this, is that you select the SimCloud, SimsUshare SimCloud repository. Once you select the repository and hit connect, you'll then be asked for username and password. So for example, I'm going to go over here and now say, so let's say I want to get I'm going to look over at the web page. I'm going to say, let me see about getting a Fire Rescue TV training sim. So I'm going to see here that the login is Fire Rescue TV. Fire Rescue TV. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to say, I'll go into edit and say, download sims. And I say SimCloud and hit connect. And now it will say, okay, this one I already had there, multi-pause sim. I'm going to go here and say Fire Rescue, Fire Rescue TV. And I'm going to go here and put the password in it. It remembers the password, so you only have to type it the first time, Fire Rescue TV. And now you'll see here are the simulations, 124. So now if I want to download them, I just click on, let's say 1024 Stockton and Beach House Road. if I wanted to now start the processing, I hit start, it transfers them, unpack, and now installs them, done, and now they're here on my computer. So if I wanted to go and edit them or go and play them, they're all here. So this is, for example, Stockton. I'll show you what that looks like. So we've tried to make it really, really simple to be able to bring the simulations in. And there's the Stockton one. This is actually a fire on a grill inside of a beach house area, just a simple walk around, no separate conditions. And these simulations, it says Fire Rescue TV because these are also available in the Fire Rescue TV training video library. So we made these in conjunction with Fire Rescue TV. But the same operation here if you want to bring any of these simulations into your program, into your SimsUshare app. But now, that's how you, let me show you, go over here to what we've got. So in our example public sims, let's try to review this. We have residential urban simulations. There are 5 simulations there, and they range there single family, multifamily, and some mid-rise, some sort of commercial taxpayer stuff. And again, there's SimCloud login is res-sim-urban-1. The starter simulations, I'm going to show some of those. That password is starter-sims-1. Fire Rescue TV, basic walk-arounds, we showed Fire Rescue TV. And the multi-position sims are multi-pause sims1. So now, how might you want to bring in the simulations to your cloud account? This is, again, if you wanted to bring them in for the whole department rather than on an individual app basis and just into your app. So what we do here, this is where you're going to see a growing list as well. If I log into the CTC, and let me actually log in over here, I'll log out and I'm going to log in. Let's say I'm going to log in as admin and I'm going to there. So you log into your CTC account. If I go to the simulations tab, this is where you have the simulations that are currently in your account, and it tells you how many you can store. If you scroll down, you'll see here, this is where these repositories, these extra repositories are listed. And so if I wanted to, let's say, bring in a multi-position sim, I'll say multi-position, and I'll say here, for example, the garage fire multi-unit. So I click on that and I click import, and then that's actually a fairly big sim, but if you'll notice, garage file multi-unit just showed up in my simulation. So you can't edit them when they're in this sort of public area, but once you if you wanted to bring them in for your SimCloud account, you then use the import sim, and then it comes into your simulations if you have enough space for them. So now if I were just downloading this into my own account, I'd be able to now go and say download Sims and SimCloud, and I could put my own credentials in here to get to my account and bring this down into the app. But when it's in here, I can see as well, once it's in my account, now I can actually go and toggle it. Again, this is the garage fire. And this is the one where you can choose. Let me actually go here full screen so you can then see, you can choose which position you're going to be. Again, this is a much more complicated simulation than the others, but this gives you a sense of what's possible in SimsUshare. So now I have to figure out how to move this around so I can toggle full screen there. And this just gives you a little diagram. If you're in that manage repository area to bring it into your SimCloud, you click on the set that you want, and then it'll give you the set of simulations in that set, and you click import sims. Now, this repository, you notice here it says add repo, and this is one of the purposes of this meeting and moving forward is we really want to encourage more sharing. So we really would like to hear from you if there are simulations that you would like to share. We're going to make it more formal in a little bit where we'll make that process, but we're definitely interested. I'd like to hear if in this Q&A, just following in a minute, whether there are simulations that you would like to share or simulations that you would like, because the idea is to cultivate a group of developers, a group of customers, and help us so we're not doing redundant work. So I've done this demonstration, but I'm happy to repeat things as people have questions. Thank you for joining us here. I appreciate your time. I'm really excited about all the possibilities that this sort of simple sharing of simulations is going to enable. I think it's going to really be terrific, especially as more people look to share simulations, and that way reduce the amount of effort that individuals have to do, and also see creative ways in using different types of simulations. For example, where we have over here, I'll show you, whereas these multi-position simulations tend to be based on time, where you're timing your units and your rolls. As you'll notice, as I scroll down over here, particularly with this multi-position house fire, we have a timed version of it, and then we have what we call an instructor version. An instructor version is where someone can click through those positions, so you don't have to wait for the time. And so clearly there are going to be different applications. You make one simulation, it can be used in several different applications, or one basic simulation. So I really want to be working on helping you make it easier to create your simulations by either working off the other people's, or introducing yours and having other people be able to contribute. Thank you very much for your attention. Let's see, we got a question. Victim icons while using SimJamaica for a private. Yeah, so I'm going to, I'm answering it here. You can actually bring your own victims in, and I'm happy to show you. Rick, I apologize for our set there. One of the hard things we have is just getting copyright on images, and I'm happy to show you how you can actually bring in your own victims, your tools, your apparatus, everything like that. And if you have some victims to contribute, that's another effort that we're under consideration now. We're eager to develop these kinds of resources that everyone can benefit from. So we have any other questions? You can type in the Q&A area. Let's see.